Welcome to Key Tech. Please describe this channel if you're interested in today's video. As the United States begins to escalate its chip sanctions, attempting to curb the development of my country's semiconductor industry by revoking technology exemptions for companies like TSMC and Samsung in China, the years-long tech war has entered a new phase. However, unlike in the past, China's countermeasures and industrial resilience are reshaping the underlying logic of this game, prompting foreign media to exclaim, "Chip sanctions have been escalated." The US's planned escalation of chip sanctions is essentially a continuation of its technological hegemony. Since Trump launched a trade war, the chip sector has been a core battleground in the US's technological containment of China. The proposed revocation of technology exemptions reveals two underlying anxieties. First, China's semiconductor industry continues to make breakthroughs amidst the blockade, with progress such as the localization of 28nm lithography equipment and the mass production of 14nm chips, undermining the foundation of the U.S. technological monopoly. Second, the deep integration of the global semiconductor industry chain makes unilateral U.S. sanctions increasingly costly. This anxiety-driven escalation of sanctions is a double-edged sword. Take Samsung's Xi'an factory, for example. Its NAND flash memory production capacity accounts for 40% of the global total. Forced decoupling would not only severely damage Samsung's global presence, but would also force China to accelerate its domestic substitution of memory chips. Historical experience shows that every technological blockade has spurred breakthroughs in Chinese industries, from the Beidou system replacing GPS to China's global leadership in 5G technology. Sanctions have often served as a catalyst for China's technological independence and self-reliance. In this game, China's true countermeasure isn't simply tit for tat. It controls irreplaceable strategic resources in the global industrial chain. NATO data shows that China has a near monopoly on 7 of the 12 key materials essential to its allies' defense industries. For example, China supplies 98% of gallium, a core material used in advanced radar and missile guidance systems. A supply cut would directly paralyze the production of numerous NATO weapons. This strategic balancing power stems from China's dual advantages of a comprehensive industrial system and abundant resources. From rare earth smelting to permanent magnet production, from tungsten mining to cemented carbide processing, China has established control over the entire supply chain in key materials, from raw materials to end products. This control is reflected not only in production volume but also in technological barriers. China's unique rare earth extraction and separation technology remains the world's most efficient process. When the U.S. attempts to exert pressure through chip sanctions, China's material trump card is enough to make any attempt at decoupling pay a heavy price. Faced with the clamor of escalating sanctions, China's industrial sector is demonstrating unprecedented strategic fortitude. On the one hand, the process of domestic substitution is accelerating. Yangtze Memory Technology's 128-layer 3D NAND flash memory, smic N+1 processed chips, and Chongdian Technology's 7nm system-in-packaging technology. These breakthroughs signal that China's semiconductor industry is breaking through bottlenecks. On the other hand, the collaborative innovation system within the supply chain is increasingly improving, and local companies are forming a closed-loop ecosystem from equipment and materials to design and manufacturing, from packaging and testing to end-use applications. The underlying logic behind this transformation lies in China's institutional advantage in transforming external pressure into internal innovation drivers. The National Integrated Circuit Industry Investment Fund Phase 2's focus on equipment and materials, the SciTech Innovation Board's capital support for semiconductor companies, and the unveiling the list and appointing leaders mechanisms push for key technological breakthroughs have collectively established a closed loop of innovation, pressure response breakthrough. While U.S. sanctions have forced Chinese companies to abandon the illusion of trading market for technology, they have instead fostered genuine independent innovation capabilities. Overall, as foreign media have noted, chip sanctions have escalated, and facing the challenge of further escalation in U.S.-imposed chip sanctions, China has neither opted for isolationist, closed-door development, nor fallen into a zero-sum game of sanctions countermeasures. Instead, it has forged a new path of industrialization through the dialectical unity of open innovation and independent control. While the U.S. remains entangled in fine-tuning its technological exemptions, China has already set its sights on a broader future. In next-generation technologies like quantum chips, photonic chips, and carbon-based chips, Chinese researchers are competing alongside the world's top teams. The ultimate outcome of this game may confirm a simple truth: the stricter the blockade, the more thorough the breakthrough, the more intense the suppression, the more resolute the self-reliance.